Another round of applause for Ghetto Kids. I mean, the medley of songs that they've put forward for us this morning is truly reflective of the rich talent and the potential that is latent in Kenya's, amongst Kenya's youth generally, but also more particularly amongst our young people, including in informal settlements. I think what really makes it remarkable about this group is the fact that many of them are from Kenya's informal settlements. I really want to thank them and to applaud them. Let's put our hands again together for them. We'll now take another few minutes just to watch a documentary that is commemorative of major highlights of our 60 years in diplomacy. Thank you very much. Are we ready?
Can a nation thrive in isolation? Can a country grow without allies? The answer lies in Kenya's journey. A journey from independence to a global stage where diplomacy shapes destiny. It began in 1963 at Lancaster House, where negotiations delivered independence and self-rule. But independence was just the beginning. A fresh narrative emerged: decolonization, self-determination, and the resilience of a people united in purpose. Kenya's story is one of connection. From 6 embassies at independence to 68 missions worldwide today, we have grown our diplomatic footprint because Kenya is not an island, it has friends. And friends bring opportunities. Through diplomacy, we trade goods, exchange knowledge, and share cultures. Diplomacy delivers agreements. Agreements bring projects. Projects bring impact. Impact transforms lives. It is because of diplomacy that United Nations chose Nairobi for UNEP, creating jobs, building infrastructure, and transforming Kenya into a global environmental hub. We don't just care for ourselves, we care deeply for our neighbors. At the Africa Climate Summit, for instance, Kenya rallied nations to tackle climate change, addressing unpredictable climate conditions that threaten agriculture, our economic backbone. Together, we are securing solutions for food security and regional stability, because no one thrives when their neighbors struggle. Kenya's diplomacy also champions growth. Trade agreements open markets. Cultural exchanges facilitate harmony. International events like the Women's Conference of 1985 catalyze milestones like the 2/3 gender rule that Kenya enjoys today. Every agreement, every negotiation represents sleepless nights and relentless effort to position Kenya for success. Behind every achievement are the men and women of the Ministry of Foreign and Diaspora Affairs, negotiators, diplomats, and visionaries. They translate Kenya's foreign policy into action, turning ambitions into realities for over 50 million Kenyans. Think about it. The developments we see today, roads, schools, and industries, almost everything built is a result of diplomacy, because no nation grows alone. As we look ahead, Kenya seeks to expand its alliances, create new opportunities, and position itself at the right place at the right time. Diplomacy is not just about survival, it is about thriving. Kenya's place on the global stage is no accident. It is the result of deliberate action, relentless negotiation, and visionary leadership. To keep building bridges and shaping futures, we must continue investing in the tools and partnerships that make these possible. Think about it.
What a journey. Another round of applause, tafadhali. And at this point, we would like to now progress and proceed to an award ceremony. And I will request the presence of His Excellency, the Prime Cabinet Secretary, together with the PS, to kindly come forward as we're going to be doing these awards. I'll read a citation of the awards. We have several categories of those awards before I read the individuals and the corporates that have scooped the award this time. So the first award that we're going to be giving is that of Emerging Leaders. Celebrates promising individuals who have shown remarkable leadership and innovation, or initiatives in advancing Kenya's diplomatic goals early in their careers. These individuals are rising stars with the potential to create substantial positive change on the global stage in the future. So at this point, Your Excellency, if I may request that you just take the stage to present the awards. I'll call on those who are going to be winning the awards. So I'll request His Excellency the Prime Cabinet Secretary together with the PS to just come forward. And on emerging leaders, the first person, well, they're not in order of who is first or last, but these are the winners. We have May I also call on the Secretary to Cabinet to also join the Prime Cabinet Secretary, and also PS Roslyn, kindly if you may join on stage to present these awards. As mentioned, the first award is for emerging leaders, and as I said, they're not in order of first to last, but we have Anastasia Osundwa. Can we put our hands together for Anastasia Osundwa? This is a promising individual who has shown remarkable leadership innovation or initiatives in advancing Kenya's diplomatic goals early in their careers. They are individuals who are rising stars with potential to create substantial positive change on the global stage now and in the future. So, Anastasia, if you may kindly receive the award next to the Prime Cabinet Secretary, then also pose for a quick photo with the team that is on stage. And as we do that, I'll also call on Matthew Kaikai. Matthew Kaikai. A round of applause for Matthew. This is still on the category of emerging leaders. Wonderful. Thank you. The next category is brand ambassadors. Now, this recognizes individuals and organizations that have effectively represented, promoted, and enhanced Kenya's image and prestige on the global stage through exceptional talent, dedication, and achievements. While not official diplomats, these individuals serve as de facto ambassadors by showcasing Kenya's rich cultural heritage, resilience, and excellence, particularly in sports, tourism, cultural exchange, and economic empowerment initiatives. Their remarkable efforts have not only elevated Kenya's profile internationally, but also inspired pride and patriotism amongst Kenyans. We have the following. We have Eliud Kipchoge, but he's not present, so in absentia, we can put our hands together for Eliud Kipchoge. We have Dr. Faith Chepngetich Kipyegon, again another round of applause in absentia. On the corporate sector, we have Kenya Airways, and we do have the CEO, Mr. Kivaluka, who is going to receive on behalf of Kenya Airways. A round of applause for him, tafadhali. Wonderful. Kenya Airways with their tagline, the pride of Africa. All right, next we have, on the corporate section, we have Equity Bank. So if we have somebody from Equity Bank who can kindly come and receive, and let's give a round of applause. Wonderful. Next, we have ambassadors in the sporting field, and this is the Kenya National Rugby Sevens team. Where is a good clap for the Kenya National Rugby Sevens team, who we have seen represent Kenya in various ways and have definitely flown the flag of Kenya. And I am well briefed, but on behalf of Athletics Kenya to pick the awards for Eliud Kipchoge and Dr. Faith Chepngetich, we have individuals from Athletics Kenya who will pick on their behalf. Why don't you put our hands together for them as they come to receive their awards on their behalf. Athletics Kenya, representatives from Athletics Kenya, kindly if you can pick the awards for Eliud Kipchoge, who is also known as the GOAT, the greatest of all times, and Dr. Faith Chepngetich Kipyegon. You can pose for a photo. The next category is Distinguished Peace Ambassadors. For this next category, allow me to invite the DG for UNON to come and join the team that's on stage for the next category. Ambassador Bangura to kindly come and join on stage. And as she's coming, yes, let's give her a round of applause. The next category is Distinguished Peace Ambassadors. This recognizes individuals who have played a key role in Kenya's peace diplomacy. These are individuals who have significantly contributed to peace, conflict, resolution, or promoting harmony between nations. Moreover, whose work directly impacts peace building, mediation, and advocacy for peaceful solutions. And on this category, we have Lieutenant General retired Daniel Ishmael Opande to come and receive an award. Welcome, sir. Again, these are peace ambassadors who are individuals who have had a key role in peacekeeping and diplomacy. If we can face forward for the photo. Thank you very much, sir. Next, we have Lieutenant General retired Lazarus Simbeyo to come and receive an award. Very active in the peace and resolution space. Again, a great honor. Another round of applause for General retired Lazarus Simbeyo. The next is going to be given posthumously, and it is going to be collected or picked on his behalf by the spouse, Madam Horn Kiplagat, and this is an award to Ambassador Bethwell Kiplagat. Why don't we put our hands together as Madam Kiplagat will pick on behalf of her husband. Wonderful. Wonderful. And for the next category, allow me to also now call on Ambassador Bayene Rusom, the Dean of the Diplomatic Corps, to join the team that's awarding. Be part of the team that's awarding as we move on to the next category, which is diplomatic excellence. Now, this recognizes exceptional contribution in Kenya's international relations and foreign policy, highlighting individuals who have made significant contributions to fostering regional and global diplomatic cooperation involving Kenya. These individuals have actively engaged in promoting dialogue, cooperation, and mutual understanding among nations, thereby strengthening diplomatic ties and enhancing Kenya's reputation as a constructive and reliable partner. And the following individuals are now going to be awarded, and we start with Ambassador Boaz Mbaya. A round of applause for Ambassador Boaz Mbaya to receive an award on diplomatic excellence. Welcome, sir. Fantastic. Next, we will call upon Ambassador Lazarus Amayo. A round of applause for Ambassador Lazarus Amayo. Again, this is on diplomatic excellence. The next category is lifetime achievements. Now, this honors individuals who have dedicated a significant part of their lives to impactful work in Kenya's diplomatic landscape. This award honors a legacy of excellence, service, and contribution over a career spanning several decades. And to receive the award is Ambassador Francis Mudhaura, a well-known individual. He needs no introduction whatsoever. Keep clapping. As a household name, Ambassador Francis Mudhaura. So with your permission, I'll request that we may take our seats. And with your permission again, Your Excellency, allow me to just call a few individuals who will speak on behalf of others. And I'll start with Ambassador Mudhaura to just give brief remarks on behalf of that award, Lifetime Achievements, just to speak briefly on the role of diplomacy and his experience. Why don't we put our hands together as we glean from this very, very experienced hand, Ambassador Mudhaura. Welcome, sir.
Yeah, thank you very much, Your Excellency, Musalia Mudavadi, the Principal Cabinet Secretary, and the Cabinet Secretary for Ministry of Foreign Affairs. I also wish to thank your entire staff, especially the Permanent Secretary, Dr. Koreo Sigei, and all those who have been involved in the preparation of this very special occasion. Quite often, or in the past, we have tended to recognize people after they have gone, which is really not very good. But the Ministry of Foreign Affairs is setting a set precedent to be recognizing Kenyans who are making major contribution to the development of this country and the region when they are alive. Really, since Kenya's independence, through the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Kenya has flown its flag very high. It's a country which is recognized very easily globally. This has been done by the people we have chosen to our leadership. Their Excellencies, the President, our diplomats, our sportsmen, our businessmen. We have really kept the flag flying, and really on behalf of all those who have received these special awards today, we want to say thank you very much. Among us are former ambassadors and generals in our military. We have two generals here. Sometimes it's good to mention their name, General Pande, General Somboyo. They have done a lot of work in terms of bringing peace in Africa, peacekeeping operations. They have really contributed a lot. A lot of conflicts, African conflicts, have been resolved in this capital city. If we have to name a few, remember the role played by Kenya in the resolution of the Somali conflict, South Sudan conflict, even Namibia conflict. We had major military operation there, peacekeeping operation. Congo, we have tried a lot in the past with quite significant success, although still the problem persists. Kenya has even sent military peacekeeping operations to Europe, former Yugoslavia. Right now we have troops in Haiti. We are a peace-loving country. When you are peace-loving, your flag flies high. Know that you are a coward. We have very sophisticated military power, but we don't use it. We use it for peace. We don't use it for war. So what I would really like to add there is Kenya, was the first developing country to be elected to host a United Nations specialized agency, the UNEP, which has expanded soon after to include Habitat and other bodies of the UN. That was not a small achievement. It was an indication of the effectiveness of Kenya's diplomacy and also a reflection of the governance of this country. Diplomats can try, but if the governance is weak or is not properly focused or organized, then you can't go very far. Diplomats are really a reflection of the ability, the efficiency, the discipline of the country. And that's why I'm saying we who have gotten these awards, we thank the former government, because some of us started some years back, quite a few years back. We have seen President Kenyatta, President Moi, President Kibaki, and now we have President Ruto. All that I see in Kenya is every president trying to move the country a step further. And I think we are achieving that systematically, and we should be proud of that. So, again, I don't want to talk too much because our participation in the AU, in the United Nations, in the non-aligned movement, in the G77, is very well known. We have always been really very impactful in all those organizations, and that's where we are today. In the regional trade, international trade, in tourism, in sports, we have been very impactful. But we have not exhausted our energy. We have not exhausted our energy. I was privileged to be the founder secretary general of the current East African community. And just yesterday and the day before, we are celebrating the 25th anniversary of the East African community. And Our Excellency, the principal secretary, and also the president were in Arusha. I was also invited to be in that celebration. So what that means, community started as 3 countries, former 3 countries. To be honest, at the time we started, when I was appointed, it was not a very easy responsibility, because the countries already, Uganda and Tanzania, had been in war and fought physically. We had Kenya military at the border with Uganda at that time. So everything was very tense. We were still struggling to divide the assets of the East African community. Today, East Africa has become our home, and an expanded home. We started with 3, then went to 5, then 6, and now we are 8, including Burundi, Rwanda, South Sudan, Congo, and Somalia. So we have been at the center of these processes. And today, when you look at the regional performances, East Africa is always on top in terms of rate of growth, annual growth, and also in terms of economic integration. We are in the lead. So what we can say, this event should give us more energy, should give us, as a country, should have give us vision and ambition to really expand peace and international cooperation. Thank you very much.
Another round of applause for Ambassador Mudhaura. And as PS is coming to proceed with the program, just to mention that there are those who may not have been present, but it would be good to appreciate them. In the Award of Diplomatic Excellence, we have Ambassador Dr. Amina Mohammed. She's not present. I didn't read out her name, so we can appreciate her. On the Lifetime Achievements, we also have Ambassador Joseph Odero. This is posthuman. He is also known as Joey. A great round of applause for him. Professor Calestus Juma, posthumous as well. Professor Thomas R. Odhiambo, that's posthumous as well. And Professor F.X. Njenga, posthumous as well. Let's appreciate them kindly. Welcome, PS.
Thank you very much, my brother Gitonga. Your Excellency, with your permission, and I have consulted you on this, we should like to move to the next stage, a stage that involves the launch of several critical documents from the State Department of Foreign Affairs. Your Excellency, the first document you will be launching this morning is a document known as the 2024 Revised Foreign Policy of the Republic of Kenya. We will also, Your Excellency, be launching our strategic plan, our protocol manual, and our ICT policy document. Allow me, Your Excellency, to say a few things with regard to the 2024 policy document. Your Excellency, the 2024 policy document replaces the 2014 document. I call this new policy our own Twiga diplomacy, a foresighted, adaptive, agile, and dignifying foreign policy. For 5 reasons. Number 1, this policy centers citizens and the diaspora as both owners and drivers of the policy, identifying their agency, innovation, and participation as integral to the realization of our foreign policy objectives. Number 2, it reinforces regionalism by seeking to rationalize our national interests with regional integration within the context of a ruptured multilateral order. Collective action under this policy will be regionally cultivated and constructed and pursued. And the centrality of the African Union, the African Continental Free Trade Area, regional economic communities in the search of our economic self-determination and self-dependency will be our focus. Number 3, this policy catapults climate action as an urgent imperative and an antidote to the present and real existential threats posed by climate change by holding Kenya as a credible exemplar of the possibility of achieving economic development that is powered by green energy. Number 4, this policy practicalizes peaceful and mutual coexistence beyond doctrine by seeking enhanced capability for proactive mediation and proposing the mobilization of local and regional mechanisms as vanguards for peace, diplomacy, and engagement. And number 5, this policy balances our commitment and advocacy for fair and inclusive multilateralism with the appreciation of emergent plurilateral arrangements that nudge Kenya in the direction of adaptable and pragmatic coalitions and equitable partnerships to address collective action challenges in the face of a fragmented and stalemated global governance institutions. Your Excellency, in summary, this is a policy towards unlocking the Africa advantage and enhancing her bargaining position and Kenya's place and role in it. Your Excellency, it's now my privilege and honor to welcome you to the stage to perform this ceremony of launching the reviewed Kenya foreign policy, our strategic plan, the protocol manual, and the ICT policy. Thank you very much. I want to ask Ambassador Masila as well to be around so that he can help us with this task. Ambassador Masila, why don't you come here? And while they're at it, I'd like to really also acknowledge with gratitude the support of CRBC and China Energy for their support to these activities. Michael. His Excellency Prime Cabinet Secretary has been very gracious, and he's requested that the team that developed the foreign policy joins him on the stage. Ambassador Kirothu and your team, please. So why don't you run the rest? This program is crazy.
And as you can see, it's a big team that has been dedicated to ensure that we're here today. Another round of applause for them, please, as they're coming to launch this document. And Your Excellency, once we have the team there, we'll count you down so that we are all in sync as we launch this document. So in 3, 2, 1, we can press the buzzer. There you go. We'll also train our eyes to the video that is on screen as we see what has just been launched.
Your Excellency, greetings from the Kenya Embassy in Ireland. I can confirm, sir, that I've received the newly revised Kenya foreign policy and the strategic plan of the State Department in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. As your ambassador, I am deeply committed to ensuring that the embassy plays its role to translate these plans into tangible benefits for our people. Together with our partners, we will deepen our cooperation and foster mutual growth that benefit both nations. Nashukuru sana.
Your Excellency, the President of the Republic of Kenya, please receive greetings from the Kenya High Commission here in Ottawa, Canada. Your Excellency, sir, I do confirm that the mission is in receipt of the newly revised foreign policy of the Republic of Kenya. And Your Excellency, sir, I equally confirm that we are in receipt of the strategic plan for the year 2023-2027 for the State Department for Foreign Affairs. Your Excellency, sir, as your ambassador here in Ottawa, Canada, I am deeply committed to ensuring that the High Commission plays its role in translating the strategic plan into tangible benefits for our people. Your Excellency, sir, together with our partners, we will continue to deepen our cooperation and foster mutual growth for the benefit of our nation. Thank you, Your Excellency.
Your Excellency, Greetings from the Kenyan Embassy in the Federal Democratic Republic of Ethiopia and permanent mission to the African Union and the United Nations Economic Commission for Africa. I confirm that I have received the newly revised Kenya Foreign Policy and the strategic plan of the State Department of Foreign Affairs in the Ministry of Foreign and Diaspora Affairs. As your ambassador, I am deeply committed to ensuring that this embassy plays its role in translating these plans into tangible benefits for our people. Together with partners, we will deepen cooperation and foster growth that benefits both nations.
Your Excellency, greetings from the Embassy of the Republic of Kenya in Seoul, Republic of Korea. I confirm that I have received the newly revised Kenya Foreign Policy and the strategic plan of the State Department for Foreign Affairs in the Ministry of Foreign and Diaspora Affairs. As your ambassador, sir, I am deeply committed to ensuring that the embassy plays its role to translating these plans into tangible benefits for our people. Together with our partners, we will deepen our cooperation and foster mutual growth for the benefit of both our nations. Asante.
Your Excellency, greetings from the Kenya Embassy in Riyadh in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. Your Excellency, I do confirm that I have received the revitalized foreign policy, a very, very robust document. Secondly, Your Excellency, I also confirm that I have received the strategic plan. This is the document that will operationalize the foreign policy. Your Excellency, as your representative in the Kingdom of Saudi, and on behalf of the team members, I do pledge that we will work hard towards operationalization of the two documents towards the benefit of the Kenyan people. Furthermore, Your Excellency, I will work hard with the host nation, with our partners, towards mutual benefit of both nations. We thank you.
So at this point, we are now going to have that particular document or those documents, and I'll just read through them very quickly, presented to the Prime Cabinet Secretary and also other stakeholders. And it's the reviewed Kenya policy document, the strategic plan, the protocol manual, and the ICT policy. And to receive the first batch, I'll invite Ambassador Kirudhu to just come and present this to the Prime Cabinet Secretary, but together with the PS Foreign Affairs and PS Diaspora. Rosalind, if you can kindly come and join to receive this particular document or this batch of documents. And again, as I mentioned, the documents are the reviewed Kenya policy, the strategic plan, the protocol manual, and the ICT policy. And we can stand for a photo. I understand there is also the legal book on environmental diplomacy, legacy book, sorry, on diplomatic. There you go. Let's give a round of applause. We would also like to have a document handed over to the DG UNON to to also come and receive a copy of the document. So if we can have her kindly approach the stage to receive a document as well, or the batch of documents. And next, we'll also have Ambassador Bayene Rusom, the Dean of Diplomatic Corps, to also come and receive some of the documents. As we celebrate and commemorate Kenya's diplomacy at 60. Next, we'll have the Secretary to Cabinet, Madam Mercy Wanjao, to also come and receive a document on behalf of Cabinet. Then we'll also have PS Parliamentary Affairs to also come and receive the document. Madam Aurelia. And I think that's where we'll end that particular session. The QR code on the screen also gives you access to the document, so you can scan it and you'll be able to also have view of the document. And just for the sake of a bit of a transition, we'll have a cultural moment from Ghetto Classic. Ghetto Classic to give us just a short interlude of music as we then will progress to the next part of the program. And those of you that may not be familiar with Ghetto Classics, as mentioned by PS, this is individuals who are from informal settlements, who basically have been harnessed and are enjoying, or we are enjoying their talent as they play classical music. So Ghetto Classics, as soon as you're ready, the floor is yours. I'd request that we just encourage them with a clap as they get themselves ready to give us a number. After that, we'll progress with the rest of the program. Ghetto Classics, over to you.
Another round of applause for the Ghetto Classics. Thank you, guys. You are fantastic. Before I invite His Excellency, the Prime Cabinet Secretary, to speak, allow me just to inform us that at the end of his speech, we will have another ceremony outside KICC, or rather outside this hall, where His Excellency, the Prime Cabinet Secretary, will be flagging off a group of motorcycle riders known as Around Africa Motorcyclists, who are on a 5-month cycling marathon around the continent, reaching the 4 corners of our continent with the message of Kenya's peace and Kenya's contribution to diplomacy. And so please do join us at the end of remarks by the Prime Cabinet Secretary. Allow me then to request all of us to be upstanding so that we can invite His Excellency the Prime Cabinet Secretary and Cabinet Secretary for Foreign Affairs to address us. Let's put our hands together for him.
Thank you. Please be seated. Your Excellencies, Ambassadors, High Commissioners, and Heads of Missions, my colleagues in government, our esteemed diplomats, both Kenyan and those serving in Kenya. The Principal Secretary is present, captains of industry, friends of Kenya, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. It is still good morning, so hamujambo. Good morning to all of you. Perhaps before I really go forward with my statement, I know we had a moment to shake hands with all the diplomats present here, but if you do not mind, I would request as a sign of recognition if you could all stand so that we can appreciate your presence with us today. Thank you very much for being partners of the people of Kenya. Asante sana. Let me first thank all of you for joining us today to mark this historic occasion, 60 years of Kenya's diplomatic journey. Your presence here today is testament to your appreciation of the role of diplomacy in shaping our nation's destiny and our daily lives. Looking back into our diplomatic history, we see a journey marked by resilience, foresight, and unity of purpose. Since independence, Kenya has pursued a pragmatic foreign policy characterized by a blend of continuity and strategic adaptation. With successive leadership demonstrating diplomatic wisdom by carefully balancing our national interests with prevailing geopolitical realities and our responsibilities as a member of the international community. Reflecting on our diplomatic journey, from the humble beginnings in 1963, when Kenya had only 6 missions abroad, today, we have 70 missions worldwide, a significant expansion that reflects our growing influence and the strategic importance of international engagements. Similarly, we have achieved tremendous milestones since the time we served as a logistical hub during World War II to today becoming a core state in the region. Kenya's role as a diplomatic hub is now well established. We facilitate 109 resident diplomatic missions and host 148 intergovernmental and international organizations. Since 1972, when the United Nations General Assembly officially adopted Nairobi as the global headquarters of the United Nations Environmental Programme, UNEP, Kenya has remained steadfast in promoting environmental diplomacy. In fact, our first president, Jomo Kenyatta, inaugurated UNEP's headquarters here at the KICC on 2nd October 1973. Additionally, Nairobi is today home to the United Nations office at Nairobi, Union, and we are happy we have the top leadership here, which is the third largest UN Secretariat duty station after New York and Geneva. It serves as the only headquarters in Africa and the global south. Kenya has also fortified its position as a leader and active contributor to regional integration through its membership to the East African Community, COMESA, and the African Continental Free Trade Area. We will leverage our strategic position as a regional hub to advance economic and commercial diplomacy, focusing on key sectors such as technology, agriculture, manufacturing, and tourism, aimed at creating job opportunities and drive sustainable development for all Kenyans. Nairobi has also emerged as a key financial hub in the region owing to the strategic location, backed by a strong banking and financial services sector, vibrant stock exchange, well-established infrastructure, diverse economy, and well-educated and skilled human resource. Kenya hosts regional offices of the African Development Bank, the IMF, and the World Bank's largest station outside Washington. We continue to enjoy warm diplomatic ties with many bilateral and multilateral development partners ranging from Europe to the Americas, Asia and Pacific, Middle East, and to our continent in Africa. Just to emphasize a little more, Kenya's financial network now has a total of 552 branches in the whole of East Africa. Basically, it's the largest financial infrastructure that the region has. That is, Kenyan banks have spread out a footprint of 552 branches. Correspondingly, Nairobi also serves as the regional media hub and is home to many international media outlets. This robust media presence is a reflection of Kenya's promotion of freedom of the press and growing partnerships with the media in our country's foreign policy agenda. This is interesting for you because sometimes you are criticized that as Kenya, why did we allow people to speak about issues while in Kenya? Our Constitution guarantees freedom of expression. In fact, perhaps the biggest recipient of criticism from the media is actually Kenya itself. The president is always receiving a fair share of the pounding from the media, but one thing is clear: we have to protect the freedom of the media as part of our foreign policy. Remarkably, today's celebration is a culmination of a diplomatic journey that has progressively enhanced inclusiveness, cooperation, partnerships, and shared goals with a range of non-state actors, including the private sector, civil society organizations, the youth, women, faith-based organizations, among others. We continue to uphold the core principles of our foreign policy, among them Pan-Africanism, regionalism, humanitarianism, good neighborliness, and non-interference. Accordingly, Kenya remains a champion of African affairs and is committed to African Union's Agenda 2063 and collective security solutions. Over decades, Kenya has maintained its impeccable record in humanitarian support, including refugee welfare, peace, and security initiatives regionally and globally. Indeed, Kenya's commitment to strengthen this leadership role is demonstrated by its candidature for the African Union Commission chairperson. Kenya has fronted one of its sons, the Right Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga, as the country's candidate. We thank the Honorable Raila for graciously, and I think he'll be here in a short while, joining us in this historic celebration of our 60 years diplomatic journey. As the African Union candidates' public debate, dubbed Mujadala Africaneers, having been scheduled for 13th December 2024 at the AU headquarters, we wish the Honorable Raila the very best. We have no doubt that his Pan-African credentials and leadership experience will immensely contribute to the continent's shared prosperity and champion the causes of peace, unity, and development across Africa and beyond. Our national values are the bedrock of our value system in diplomatic engagements. These include patriotism, good governance, a corruption-free foreign policy, a commitment to human rights, and rejection of human trafficking, money laundering, and other forms of transnational organized crime. A notable climax of today's events is the launch of Kenya's Foreign Policy 2024, which we have done, and it shall also be made available to you all, which is the outcome of extensive stakeholder engagement on the review of the 2014 Foreign Policy document. The revised policy document is a bold, people-centered, and forward-looking framework designed to address contemporary global dynamics in a rapidly mutating global environment. Certainly, challenges such as climate change, global health crisis, digital transformation, and evolving geopolitical dynamics will continue to shape our posture, calling for a more adaptive and strategic approach. Today, I am honored and indeed delighted to represent His Excellency President William Ruto in launching the reviewed Kenya Foreign Policy, a document that reflects the evolving priorities of our nation as we prepare with optimism for the opportunities and challenges of the next 60 years and beyond. To ensure broad stakeholder reach, we undertake to translate the policy into Kiswahili and embark on a nationwide public awareness campaign dubbed Foreign Policy Mashinani. This is a policy of the Republic of Kenya, and we endeavor to have every citizen engage with it and contribute to strengthening our foreign policy objectives. The foreign policy will also be taken to Parliament in the form of a sessional paper. This will definitely further enrich our policy through the people's representatives. Our next couple of days will host a series of events, and I will repeat them because the PS had outlined them, but there's no harm in a bit of repetition, that highlight Kenya's diplomatic achievements and aspirations. And these events will be as follows. We have exhibitions. There's a tent, a big one out there, running from today to Wednesday. There will be the intergenerational dialogue later this afternoon. Tomorrow we have a tree planting session as well as private sector dialogue. On Wednesday, we shall also have the Diaspora Day, where Madam Rosalind Jogo will be leading us. And you may not have seen the diaspora policy here because it was launched earlier, but she'll also be making it available. We then have the diplomatic conference, and on Friday, as Singoi said, we shall unveil the photo gallery and launch the Foreign Service Academy as a state agency at Uhuru Gardens. We will then conclude on Saturday, and I would like to call those of you who are agile and flexible to join us in a high-altitude run at the Great Chepsaita Cross Country in Eldoret. We have launched the documents, the foreign policy. In it, we also have the ministry's protocol manual, and there's also an attached ICT policy. I would like to applaud our Foreign Service officers and government colleagues who have contributed to the admirable trajectory of Kenya's diplomatic journey in the past 60 years. I am also impressed by the contributions of our young Foreign Service staff to the events that have been lined up in our celebrations. Before I conclude, may I pay tribute to former Foreign Affairs ministers and staff on whose shoulders we are standing to continue advancing our foreign policy. I believe I am the Foreign Minister number 25. But there have been some giants ahead of me. Let me just name a few. These include our founding father, Mzee Jomo Kenyatta. When he was Prime Minister, the Foreign Office was literally in his docket at the very early days. So he really is our first Foreign Minister. We've had Joseph Murumbi, James Nyamoya, Agwin Skothek, Mbiyu Koinange, Njoroge Mongai, Munyo Oyaki, Dr. Robert Ouko, Elijah Mwangale, to name but a few. They'll be in the document that you'll see, but I'm at 25. Kenya's diplomatic journey is a story of hope, resilience, and vision. As we celebrate this journey, let us remember to honor the legacy of those who paved the way and reaffirm our dedication to creating a brighter tomorrow. Together, we will shape a future that honors our past while embracing the limitless possibilities ahead. Before I leave the podium, let me recognize the very eminent persons who are honored today. It was indeed touching. If I may just start with Madam Bethwel Kiplagat. When I was a secondary school student, perhaps in Form 1, Form 2, in Nairobi School, formerly the Prince of Wales, and the Master of Ceremony is an old Cambrian as well. We call ourselves old Cambrians. In the chapel of Nairobi School, a frequent visitor to give the Sunday sermon was the late Bethwel Kiplagat. When we were students, he would walk in and he would give the sermon to us in Nairobi School. And he would always walk in with Madame there. To give us the service and the sermon, and also to mentor us in many different ways. So, Madame, I know you have always regarded me as one of your sons. I hope the young man next to you does not feel too bad about it. Thank you so much for being here with us. Today, as we stand here, I saw the General Opande, and earlier on, before I came into this podium, into this hall, I made a call to Namibia, where they have just concluded their elections, and I spoke to Madam Nandi Ndaitwo. She has just been elected as the president of Namibia. They're just waiting for the results, but she's way ahead. And I'm happy that when we were there, the General Opande, the good man there, his name is a household name in Namibia because he led the peacekeeping force in Namibia and helped to train and bring up their military. So it is a great day that you are here, us recognizing you, and the country that you played a very big role in has just elected, if I'm not wrong, the second woman president in Africa. We were with Mutaura in Arusha, celebrating the 25th anniversary of the East African Community. He was the founding Secretary General. And little did we know that the heads of state would, on the 25th anniversary, nominate President William Ruto to chair the East African Community for the next 1 year. So, a great coincidence. Gentlemen, ladies, walk with us as we move into the future. And finally, to the team at Foreign Affairs, Foreign and Diaspora Affairs, keep doing that wonderful job. We have to answer a fundamental question. The young people, while raising their voices in June this year, asked the question, Why does a president travel? Why does President Ruto travel? It occurred to us that in most countries, we make foreign policy foreign to the citizens of our countries. Let us collectively reverse that position by making sure that foreign policy goes to mashinani and people appreciate what you do. Thank you, God bless you all, and asante sana.
Round of applause to His Excellency the PCS. Your Excellency, we request you that we kindly step back to the podium. We are going to have a photo session with the two exposures. Kindly request the PCS, all principal secretaries present, kindly. Let's head to the podium for a photo session. The DG, we have the Dean of Diplomatic Corps as well. Let us step up for a photo session. And the first exposure, we are going to have the committee in charge of the Kenya at 20. Committee in charge, Kenya at 60 rather. Committee in charge of Kenya at 60 to join so that we have this first exposure. Committee in charge to join this first team. So the first exposure, we are having the committee in charge of Kenya at 60, all the principal secretaries present, the Dean of Diplomatic Corps, the DG, and all principal secretaries present. Thank you. That is our first exposure. We could have you at the back so that we flank the first line. Thank you. The next exposure, we will request the Committee of Kenya Foreign Affairs Policy also to join. Thank you. The Committee on Kenya Foreign Affairs Policy, kindly join. The Committee on Kenya Foreign Affairs Policy, let's join. And that will be our last exposure. As we are preparing for the national anthem as well. Thank you. We request the rest of us to move. We allow His Excellency the PCS to remain at the podium so as to receive the national anthem. Then after this, after the national anthem, you're going to walk out for the PCS to flag off the motorcyclist. Okay, we are guided that we are going to have the vote of thanks by the PS Diaspora First. Thank you for the guidance. Kindly let's have our seats first. Thank you. Welcome, Madam.
I will not keep you long. Your Excellency, Dr. Musalia Mudavadi, Prime Cabinet Secretary and CS for Foreign and Diaspora Affairs, Cabinet Secretaries present, Principal Secretaries, my brother P.S. Singoe, my sister P.S. Aurelia, distinguished members of the Diplomatic Corps, senior government officials, and our own team from the Ministry of Foreign and Diaspora Affairs, distinguished members of the diaspora, ladies and gentlemen, distinguished awardees, good afternoon. Good afternoon. It's my pleasure really to move this vote of thanks as we mark this significant milestone in which we celebrate 60 years of Kenya's diplomatic journey. I'm honored to stand here in this important moment when we get to say that at 60 years, this is what Kenya had done. I look forward, if should Christ tarry, to see what the people who stand here in 40 years will be able to say this is what Kenya has done in 100 years. In the journey that we have witnessed on the various videos and testimonials, it's been exciting to see how we began from humble beginnings and what Kenya has become and what we posture. I want to thank His Excellency the President for his visionary leadership that has contributed to deepening Kenya's diplomatic ties around the world, and for his leadership and contributions specifically around the areas of regional and global peace and security, diaspora engagement, climate change, smart agriculture, people-to-people interactions, a creative economy and innovation, enhancement of culture and heritage, and so on. He really is diplomat number one and has led well, and it's easy for us to follow behind him. I want to thank you, Prime Cabinet Secretary, for your leadership of this ministry that has elevated not just this ministry, but what this country is doing in the world. Waziri, you have been a stable and visionary leader, but you also take your time and you support those of us who serve under you, and you coach well, and we are grateful to serve under you. I want to thank our brothers and sisters in the diplomatic corps who are represented here, who have been Kenya's partners over the years. I want in a very special way to thank our ambassadors and foreign service officers serving abroad who really are the hands and feet of our foreign policy. In a special way, I want to thank Kenya's diaspora, who are our quotidian civilian ambassadors who fly the flag of Kenya in every country, even beyond where we have our 66 missions. Ladies and gentlemen, our ministry is really a facilitating ministry. So I want to thank the work that the other ministries, departments, and agencies who partner with us to push forward the government agenda. I want to thank you for your journey with us. Lastly, our dedicated staff at the Ministry of Foreign and Diaspora Affairs and the staff at the Parliamentary Affairs, to thank you for the work that you do in the execution of our mission, which is to project, promote, and protect Kenya's interests and image globally through innovative diplomacy, while championing the rights and welfare of Kenyans abroad and mainstreaming them into national development. We celebrate this moment, and I want to thank you once again, ladies, gentlemen, distinguished guests, for coming, for attending this event, but also for working with us in placing Kenya, or in putting Kenya where it currently is. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.
Another round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much. And at this juncture, I'll request that we be upstanding for the national anthem. And after this, His Excellency, the Prime Cabinet Secretary, will proceed to flag off the motorcyclist. The rest of us are invited for a cup of tea to the left. And also the diplomatic corps are invited to pick the books from this end. The national anthem, please. His Excellency, the Prime Cabinet Secretary, will now proceed to flag off the motorcyclists, and thereafter will proceed to tour the exhibition at the other end. Thank you so much and welcome.